Hello and welcome everybody to our first live office hours of the semester. It is 7:06. Running a couple minutes behind. Something that I guess you should know is if you're wondering as to the specific reason, or if you're wondering about the specific reason as to why we're meeting at this time, it's largely due to the fact that I have a 2-year-old whose bedtime is usually between 6:45 and 7. So depending upon how he is and where I am kind of on that track getting him ready, there may be a couple what's the word I'm looking for? A couple classes where I may be running a bit late. So if you're on here and waiting, whoa! Oh, weird. Hang on. Kyle, thanks for letting me know. Let me take a look at... I'm going to delete that one. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So that should be... Nope. Okay. Okay, there we go. You know what? I was having some technical difficulties getting this one launched, and I created a stream. It wasn't showing up on YouTube, so I made another one. That's probably why they showed up in duplicate. Hopefully, so that's why there were two. Hopefully the other ones will. I just deleted it, so hopefully they will migrate over to this one. Because this is the one where things are going live. So, kind of a couple. Hang on. I apologize for the chair moving noises. My 2-year-old broke into the office and did some fun furniture rearranging that kind of threw off the setup. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, so so again, welcome. This is the this is Chem 400 lab, which, as I stated earlier, is I'm going to be using kind of this time and this space to hold open office hours. There are a couple, if you look at the semester, if you look at the syllabus, there's a couple lab lecture, kind of mini lectures that we have scheduled throughout. Next, or on Wednesday, and then a week from today, we'll be doing a couple on sig figs and unit conversions. For now, for tonight, I just want to go through kind of the lab syllabus, course policies, talk about what to expect, because this whole eLab thing is something totally new and different, really, for all of us. And so I kind of wanted everyone to... I'm going to go over some important policies, but also the structure, how lab is going to work this semester. And then after that, I got nothing, so I'll answer any questions or go over anything that you guys may have. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and start again. Just as I said before, I highly recommend that you all read the lab syllabus. the lab syllabus and the lecture syllabus are two different things. Namely, because as I talked about in lecture, there are 4 different lab sections. I am only teaching one of them. The other 3 are being handled by other instructors, and you are, if you're in their sections, you are in very capable hands, arguably more capable than my own. But because I am not the instructor of those lab sections, you'll need to check out their syllabi for specific course policies, for assignment structure, and whatnot. And we're all working together, so it should be a fairly consistent experience for you no matter which lab section you're in. However, I only have direct control of mine, so the direct control of the others obviously lie with the other instructors. And another reason why I recommend reading the lab syllabus is I will not have... here, hang on one second. I've got... my kids are in the other room, and I'm just going to ask them to be a little quieter. All right, I am back. Sorry, he didn't know I was streaming. One of the downsides of having a really good mic is it can pick up conversation through walls one room over. Okay, so again, I'm not going to go over everything. Check out the lab syllabus. There will be some things in there that we don't cover today, but I just want to hit on the some of the big things, big themes, and there are specific things that I want to bring to everybody's attention. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is attendance, and we hit on this already. Jay, that is a great question. You will find all that stuff at the end of the lecture syllabus, which you can also find on Canvas. So again, attendance in this course, both classes that I'm teaching, and this is not the case for everyone. Some instructors are teaching synchronous, some are teaching asynchronous. I am teaching what's called an asynchronous class. Asynchronous class. That means that that I do not take attendance. All right, you do not have to show up during the. Oh yeah, no worries, dude. You do not have to show up during the scheduled times. You can watch your you can attend class, watch lectures, labs at your convenience. So you kind of get to move at your own pace, which is cool. But one of the downsides to this is sometimes it can be hard because so much of the structure of the course is up to you. It can be hard to figure out like when to actually do it. And so what I recommended, and I had a lot of students who did this over the summer, and it seemed to work for them. I recommend that if you've got this chunk of time free, 7 to 10, I'm going to be going live. So this is an ideal time for you to work on your eLabs, right? Because you have me live. So if you're doing the experiment, you're working on the simulator, doing all that stuff, and you hit a question, something that you're like unsure of, like, oh, how do I do this? I'll be here, I'll be live. You can hit me up. You don't have to like email me, wait for a response. There won't be that kind of start-stop thing. It'll be kind of more fluid, and you know, I think it's again, a lot of students did it over the summer and it seemed to work out for them. You totally don't have to, but that's one way you can utilize it, and it'll kind of keep you on pace if you know mentally every Monday and Wednesday I'm sitting down at 7 and I'm going to do some work on the eLabs. You'll have that space, you'll have that time set aside, and it'll keep you from falling behind. Another downside to moving at your own pace is, or not a downside, but just something to be in mind. I recommend that you watch out for assignment deadlines. This is something that I forgot to mention in lecture. It's in the syllabus. Forgot to state it explicitly. I will at a later point in time. Something you should know is that late assignments are not accepted in this course. So if you complete it before the deadline but don't turn it in, you'll get a 0. All right, and all of the assignments will have generous windows. I recommend you get them done early, because if you're like cutting it close right till midnight, your internet blacks out. You can't upload the assignment. It's not going to change. You're still going to get a 0 on that assignment. So I recommend starting early, submitting with plenty of time, because if you push it towards the deadline, you're risking something going wrong, and then it's on you at that point. So you don't have to attend. You can move at your own pace, but keep an eye out for deadlines, which you can find the deadline to every assignment in the lab schedule in the syllabus. Lab schedule in the lab syllabus. So if you have not, that is not on the lecture Canvas page, that is on the labs Canvas page. All right. So, and again, this space obviously is our lab section. So I'm going over our lab syllabus, but everybody is welcome to join. If you can't attend during this time, I said this earlier in lecture, but just as a reminder, you can always email in questions. All right, so you can send them to my Los Rios email, and just if you are going to submit your questions through email, if you can't attend these sessions live, remember 2 things. As your subject, you want to put Chem 400 office hours. If you don't, I can't guarantee that I will see it necessarily. I might see it, but I also might miss it. Email is kind of crazy when everybody's teaching online, and so before every office hours, I'll search this to make sure I get all those questions answered. So if you have this as your subject line, you will be able to get your question in there and answered. The second thing is, and I know I mentioned this in lecture, but just to reiterate it, please include a picture of the original problem, wherever it came from. This helps me see it in its original context, helps me understand where you're coming from, and also what the question is, so I'll be most effective in explaining it. So again, if you can't make it to this live section, you can email it in, and you do not have to be in my lab section to attend, participate, or email in your questions. I want to use this this time and this space for everyone. All right, one thing that I do have to say, even so, everybody is welcome, but if you are not in my lab section, you have to understand that any logistical information that I give, whether it's point structure or assignment deadlines or all of that stuff, if I say that lab exercise 1 is due on September 4th, that is only true for my section. If you're in someone else's section, you have to double check the lab schedule with your instructor, because they're the ones who set the timelines, the schedules, and all that stuff for your lab section. So do not argue with them saying Professor Tolopilo said that it was due on this date, because I have no jurisdiction over their sections. All right. So for those of you who are in my section, everything I say is gospel. For those of you who are not, you got to fact check. All right. Fact check with your lab instructor and their lab syllabus. Again, they will be fairly similar, but they may not necessarily be exactly the same. All right. Couple more items of business, and then we'll get onto everything. There are a couple questions in the lecture live chat about the lab safety and the waiver. This is an assignment that has not been created yet, but it will be. I'll be adding that to our lab canvas soon. Oh, here, let's see. Whoa, really? Holy moly. Peyton, sorry, I just, it should not have a time limit at all. Let me correct that. The lab exercises should not be timed. But that is what it's worth. It is worth 25 points. But I'm logging into Canvas right now to fix that. Let's see. No lab. There we go. Assignments. Let's edit the situation. Okay, hang on. There we go. No time limit. Okay. Now that is as it should be. Okay, yes, Peyton. All your questions. So first off, lab exercise or I will totally get into kind of a more detailed breakdown of what you can be expecting in the form of assignments in the lab course. And actually answering all those questions, I will get to all of them. But the first thing that first I want to talk about the lab safety waiver. Then I'll move on to kind of giving you that breakdown. All right, so this is first off, I guess I should say that the lab safety waiver or lab safety quiz and waiver is coming soon to Canvas. This is not live or available yet. I may end up pushing back the deadline for this depending upon when it goes live, because I want to make sure. To me, it's most important to make sure that everybody has enough time to kind of do this situation. And most of my focus has been getting kind of the lectures and coordinating with all the professors involved ready to launch today. So now that we have launched and all that behind the scenes work is, well, behind us, I'll be able to kind of build out our Canvas sites a little bit better. Right now they're kind of bare bones. They'll be looking better in the next week or so. So the lab safety quiz and waiver is coming soon to Canvas. What it is lab safety may seem like an odd thing since we're doing all electronic labs. However, a critical part of the learning outcomes that are involved in any lab class is understanding safety, how to conduct experiments safely, how to do procedures without being a hazard to yourself and those around you. And so there is still a necessary part of the lab course that is lab safety, and so we still have to incorporate it. It'll be there'll be a video to watch that's like 35 minutes long. There'll be quiz based on that video. And then there will be a waiver for you to fill out and submit to Canvas. The lab safety quiz and waiver are not worth any points, but failure to complete them will result in you being dropped from the course. So right now, this is set to be due a week from Wednesday, and you will be dropped if you miss this deadline. Granted, it's not available right now, so I may adjust the deadline. It's not hard. It's a 35-minute video. You've probably actually already seen it. It's the standard American Chemical Society safety video. A quiz that you get multiple attempts to try. It's not here to hurt anybody, but it's a necessary part of the curriculum. So we'll get it out of the way early, and then move on to assignments that are actually worth points. Now, let's talk for a minute about lab grades. So how do you earn the lab portion of the course, which, as we talked about in lecture, is worth 30% of your letter grade? The assignments for the lab section will involve there will be 8 exercises that you will have to complete. You'll have 8 exercises to complete. You'll have 12 eLabs. So that is a total of, there will be a total of 20 assignments in the lab section. Each of them is worth 25 points. All right, so the exercises and the eLabs are all weighted evenly. The exercises, let's talk a little bit about these. What are these things? The exercises are essentially they are Canvas problem sets. They're Canvas-based problem sets. All right, these are not written by me. These were written by FLC full-time faculty. If you're wondering what that sound is, don't worry, I'm not all of a sudden on a tarmac. There are no planes taking off. I'm in my house's office, and above me is a bathtub that's draining right now. So if you're wondering what that wonderful, beautiful sound is, now you know. So exercises are Canvas-based problem sets. They're not written by me. They were written by FLC's full-time faculty. They've been a part of the lab curriculum for years, and they're just there to give you practice, working problems that relate to the material that you're doing in lab and in lecture. All right. This is something to be aware of. They all vary in length, but they can be lengthy at times. So I definitely recommend starting early. For example, the first lab exercise is currently available on Canvas, and exercise one has 57 problems. All right, so I definitely recommend getting a jump on these, starting these early. If you start them an hour before they're due, you may not be able to finish. So I highly recommend starting early, doing a few problems at a time, a few problems every day. Even pace yourself out. Like, look at this. Exercise 1, I believe, is due on September 4th, a week from Wednesday. So you got like 9 days to do this. So, you know, we can do a little math here. If you do 6 a day, you'll pretty much finish it. All right. So if you break it up, do it in little chunks. It's not that bad. If you wait till the last minute, it will be bad. So don't wait till the last minute. For the exercises, and again, in my section, every instructor might be a little different. But there is no time limit for these. Peyton, that's why I was surprised when you were like, it says there's 30 minutes. I was like, holy moly, there shouldn't be. I believe I've corrected that at this moment in time. Yep, there's no time limit currently for exercise 1. So you can work on these anytime. You can start and stop whenever. All right, start and stop whenever. But again, and you're going to hear me say this multiple times. You got to watch out for their due dates. All right, and all the due dates are in the tentative lab schedule in the syllabus. Don't let them creep up on you. Especially, actually, exercise 2 is even longer than exercise 1. That's one where I recommend getting a healthy head start on. It's not available on Canvas yet. I will be making these assignments available as I complete them. I'm currently in the process of taking all of the physical material in the lab manual and converting it to digital in Canvas. So one step at a time. All right, so those are the lab exercises. There will be 8 of them, and that's kind of the need to know. You can start exercise 1 now, even if you'd like to. All right, let's talk about the eLabs, all right? Because this is going to be a little bit different. So there are going to be, so there's 12 of them, and there's going to be 2 fundamental formats for these eLabs, and it's 100% based on the fact that, so if you took, if you took Chem 305 over the summer, the lab format that you saw is there were lab videos. Christina, that is okay. Yes. Excellent question. So Christina just asked, or just said, we won't have access to these exercises on the wait list, correct? And that is correct. You will not have access to the exercises on the wait list. To every student who is added to my section, I will give you an extension on the on any assignments that started or became due before you added the class, so you will have the same amount of time to complete them as anyone else, because that's only fair. I can make that promise for my section. If you are adding to a different lab section with a different instructor, I wouldn't think it's presumptuous, as long as you ask nicely, to ask if they'd be willing to extend your deadline as well. I imagine they'll accommodate you, but again, they are the sovereign of their own realm, and I don't presume to tell other sovereigns what to do. In my section, I totally will. They probably will, but you just got to roll with whatever they say, because it's their course. Okay, so eLabs. eLabs will take two. So if you took Chem 305 over the summer, the way we did electronic labs is we had a video for you to watch. It was a video of FLC faculty performing the experiments, and you would write down observations. You'd complete an exercise worksheet, submit that, and then there would be a quiz based on the lab to test for your comprehension and understanding of how that went. Now, this semester for Chem 400, we're going to be doing, there's kind of two basic formats. We don't actually have videos for every experiment. We have videos for 5 experiments for the the Chem 400 curriculum. So of the 12 that we're doing, we have recorded videos for 5 of them of FLC faculty performing those experiments. But the problem has been we had to scramble to get all this done back last semester when COVID was hitting. And none of us have had access to the facility since then. So we can't actually go in and perform new experiments, do new things, because the entire campus has been on lockdown, including to faculty. We can't get in as well. So we don't have videos for everything. We only have videos for 5. And so the way we're going to execute labs this semester is there's going to be 2 different formats for them. First, so we are going to, the way we're going to do labs is one of the 2 formats will be through formal lab reports. All right, so for some of our 12, we'll do formal lab reports. And then for the other format that we're going to use will be, you will do complete a lab worksheet. And take a lab quiz in Canvas. All right. The lab reports are worth 25 points. For the second format, the lab worksheet is worth 10. Oops. Hang on one sec. The lab worksheet will be worth 10 points. And the lab quiz will be worth 15. So regardless of which format, it'll all be worth the same, whether you're submitting a worksheet that you'll fill out and then taking a quiz. Together it's 25, or a full formal lab report will be worth 25 points. Now, I'm going to give you kind of more of a breakdown of what will be involved with each format, starting with the formal lab reports. So we'll be doing formal lab write-ups for the experiments that we have videos for. So this will involve, when we're doing formal lab reports, these experiments will involve watching a video of FLC faculty, I promise I can spell, or can't spell, I guess, as the case may be. So you'll watch the video of FLC faculty performing the experiments. You will record observations. You'll perform, so with these, you will perform any calculations. And we'll be providing you with data sets to do that with. And then you will, you'll write a formal report. All right, and the experiments that we will be writing formal reports for are experiments number 6, then number 9 through 12. All right, and so this is still a ways off. If let me pull up actually our syllabus here. So if you look at our syllabus, experiment 6 isn't due until late October. So it'll be a while before we get to writing formal lab reports. As we get closer in the weeks kind of leading up to it, I'll provide more information, more instruction on what you'll be doing, how to attack it. I'll give you some guidelines for these are your sections, this is how you format it, all that stuff. That'll be coming in the future, but it's still a ways off. All right, so this is how we'll be handling the videos where we do have footage of the experiments being performed. It'll be fairly straightforward. Now, when we don't have footage, for those 7 other experiments, it's going to take a little, more effort on my part, on the part of the lab faculty, because we have to come up with the eLab material ourselves. So for those experiments where we do not have footage, these will look different week to week, these experiments. So the so first off, so I will post specific instructions to our lab canvas. For each experiment. All right, so for each experiment, there will be a post and a detailed set of instructions for this is what you're going to be doing to follow these steps for the eLab. All right, all of the lab instructors are all participating in writing this, so it'll be the same across all sections, more or less, but I will tell you specific instructions for each experiment. These eLabs, they'll involve a mixture of videos, dry data. So that's wet data is data actually collected from a lab. With these experiments, some of them will involve data sets for you to perform calculations or analysis on. and or they may not all involve all of these elements, but some of them, and or beyond labs simulations. All right, FLC, it was super rad actually. The department purchased a license for this Beyond Labs simulation software that simulates a lab environment. So to perform the lab experiment, this will not cost you anything as a student. I'll be posting information on where to download it, the access code, so you'll be able to when you download it at first, it's like you get like a free 7-day trial, but then they require an access code. The school has purchased an access code for a user code for all of you to use, so you'll be able to use this free of charge. And it's okay, it's not like mind-blowing. It doesn't totally suck either. I've used it a little bit and I'm still kind of getting familiar with it. It's fine, but it'll at least provide kind of a mix-up and a change-up to just the rote, watch this video, write down some stuff, do some calculations. There you go. It actually gives you kind of an interactive environment that you can engage in. So it's I'm not going to sell it as like, it's amazing, but it's I think it's better than nothing, and it's better than only watching videos all semester. So we're going to be involving a mix of things. Our first experiment will be fairly dry. There may be a video or two to watch, but it'll be mostly calculations, learning how to work with data, that sort of thing. But we'll start working in Beyond Lab simulations to the mix. So, and I will be posting a link on how to download that, where to download it from, and a license code. All right. Now, for these, in addition to posting instructions, these experiments we will also post a worksheet. So you will complete a worksheet for these eLabs, which, as I already said, is worth 10 points. And then you will take a timed Canvas quiz. All right, and that will be how you earn your points, your grade for this format of eLabs. And we will be doing this for experiments 1 through 5, followed by experiments 7 through 8. So kind of at the beginning of the semester, we'll be leaning heavier on kind of this interactive mix where you'll have worksheets and quizzes, and then as the semester progresses, after we do the first 5, we'll do our first formal lab report, come back to this format for 2 experiments, and then finish out the semester writing formal lab reports. All right. Okay, so that is oh wait, no, I've got one more thing I wanted to say. If you're feeling antsy and you're like, okay, when's experiment 1, like when's it due? Because you'll notice the only thing available right now is exercise 1. So something to just be in mind. Experiment 1 isn't due until what's that? September 21st. So it's not really due till, or it's due about a month out in the future. So if the fact that it's not available or it's not there, you can't see it, can't start working on it, is making you antsy, don't let it make you antsy. It's still a ways off in the future, and it will be becoming available soon. So, okay. All right. So at this moment in time, wow, we've been doing this for 50 minutes. That's impressive. I guess time flies when you're having fun or live streaming. That is everything that I have that I prepared to talk to. I just kind of wanted to give a rundown of the lab syllabus, kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing, what to expect. So at this moment in time, I am ready for any questions you may have. And it's fine if you don't have any at the moment. I'm totally down to hang out. You can even hit me up at a later point if you have questions. But yeah, I'm ready to take any. I also haven't checked my emails to see if I have any office hour questions. So I'm going to do that now. So actually, I did have a question for office hours. Haley, if you're listening or out there, this is the answer to your question. I'm also responding to her by email if she's not. Haley was wondering. There's two questions on the lab, on the lecture syllabus quiz Q&A that ask about lab safety. When is the lab safety quiz due? There's another question about it. The answers to those can be found in the lab syllabus. So to answer those, you actually have to go and download your lab syllabus. That will have those. That will have those questions to answer those. Okay, Kyle, let's see. Are these sessions typically going to start with lab material and then move on to questions? Do you mix it up? Just wanted to know so I have a better idea of how long. Oh, totally. Kyle, great question. So the typical kind of office hour section is so these live streams are usually going to be zero format. All right. It's typically going to be me going like, hey, yo, I'm here. Do you have any questions? And then you guys will or you won't, and I'll hang out, answer them as they come. So normally there's not going to be any structure. Like, I mean, I spoke for like 50 minutes today just because I wanted to go through the lab syllabus, wanted to talk about some lab policies, and kind of give you, at least the students in my section, an idea of what structure they can expect. Because right now our Canvas is kind of bare bones. But that's atypical. Usually I'm going to start the stream, say, hey, how's it going? What questions you guys got? And so you can instantly start asking questions, and I'll just take them as they show up in the live chat. And then when the live chat dies down, that's when I bounce over to the email, see if anybody submitted any questions through email. I'll answer those. I always prioritize the ones who are there live, but I always make sure to answer the email questions as well, so nobody gets shortchanged. But Kyle, this is a very long-winded answer to your question, but if you were wondering, like, should I roll in about an hour because I really want to talk about lecture, and how long am I going to be talking about lab? It's going to be free form from the start. So if you roll in at 7, you launch some questions about lecture, we'll be talking about that, and I'll kind of answer everybody in order of in order of their questions' appearance in the live chat. That was a super long-winded question to your long-winded question to your answer. Long-winded answer to your question. Okay, Karen. Let's see. Have you had any feedback from? I have not had any. Okay, so this is better. It's there we go. Okay, BMP draws. I am totally down. Sorry. BMP draws, I'm not laughing at you. I was just looking at Kyle, who was worried that he was going to have to sift through 6 hours of lectures a week. Totally not. This stuff, so, and actually it's atypical. On Wednesday, and BMP draws, this will get to your question. I am going to do some review for the material that'll be on the prereq exam at the beginning of lab on Wednesday, and at the beginning of lab on Monday. So today was kind of like, here's the syllabus, here's the structure, here's the policies. If you guys want to see stuff, if you have questions like, hey, I don't remember sig figs, I'm totally down to talk about it. But I'll be doing mini lectures on those topics for the next 2 lab sections. So actually, Kyle, this gets to your question, and this is also in the lab syllabus schedule. If you look at there, it'll say like lab lecture sig figs, lab lecture unit conversion. That's probably going to take like 30 to 45 minutes to do those 2 mini lab lectures to kind of review the content for the prereq exam, and then after that point, it'll be open office hours. After that, I don't actually think we have any lab lectures. So after the next two will kind of be mini lecture, open office hours. After that, it's just open office hours from the start. And so that's, I think, answers. Yes, Karen, absolutely. Absolutely. It's my pleasure to help. This is actually going to be a little different than it was teaching over the summer. One of the nice things about Chem 305 is there's only one lab section attached to each lecture. So I had, it was fast because I could make decisions without having to touch base with anybody or collaborate with anyone. It was just, I had my lab and my lecture and they were the same class and I got to make all the calls. This semester with Chem 400, because there are 2 lab sections attached to each lecture, it's a little more cumbersome because there isn't one person teaching all of them. So if I were teaching all of them, I would have, well, all the power. But because it's kind of split up and taught by different people, the communication's a little slower. Because I'm emailing them, they're emailing me, we're waiting for each other's responses, that sort of thing. There are upsides to this too. If I were the only one teaching, it would be everybody having to wait on one person to get through all the emails. That would take a while. So theoretically, it should result in faster communication directly from your instructor. And I'm sure as the semester kind of gets up and running and everybody gets their feet underneath them, that'll happen. But also when it comes to communicating between different classes, it can be a little cumbersome because of the email and waiting for response time and all that good stuff. All right. That's that's me speed talking some answers. Totally. So yeah. I am going to start so as of right now, there are no live questions going on. So I'm going to start kind of cranking on getting some email responses. But I've got my eye on the live chat. If you guys run into any questions, have any questions, I will see your questions pop up, and I will answer them as they come. But I am gonna go. Well, I'm gonna just stop talking into the air. If you have specific questions, I'm totally down to answer them at any moment in time. But I'm going to start kind of grinding through some of these emails until new questions come up.